Hello, and welcome back. Today we have Platinum Review number 27, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Released in 2016, exclusively for the PlayStation 4's PSVR, Rush of Blood is a spin-off to 2015's Until Dawn. Developed by Supermassive Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, Rush of Blood is a first-person rail shooter that takes place over the course of 7 different levels. Each will have a unique theme, with many elements and environments taken from and inspired by Until Dawn. While you don't need to play the original game in order to play this and have a great time, the references and Easter eggs will be lost on you if you don't, and the full experience will be missed. Prior to starting the game, the player has the option of how they want to play. They can either use the controller or the PS3 Move controllers. Personally, I went with the Move controllers, which allow for firing from each hand and more diverse control, with no on-screen reticle. The difficulty can also be set prior to starting, but the first time through, it is best to just play on normal, to familiarize yourself with the levels and enemy encounters.
Welcome, my friend, and step right up to the ride of your life. There are wonders beyond this door that will test your skill and test your will. Do we have a winner here today? See the targets, shoot the targets, and try your best not to die, of course. If it sounds simple, then by all means, show me what you're made of. All you have to do is point your weapon right over here at this sign and pull the trigger.
The first level of the game is Haunted Lodge, and as it begins, the player is introduced to a recurring character, Dan T. He will speak briefly at the start of each level and set the stage for things to come. He appears as a carnival operator, and accordingly, the player begins the game on a roller coaster, traveling through a rundown but harmless-looking carnival. Shortly after the start, the basic controls are learned, as the player will fire upon some stationary duck targets, followed by some moving ones. Hitting all of the moving ducks will reward a trophy. The basic premise of the game is extremely simple: fire and reload. Hitting targets or enemies will increase both your score and multiplier, while taking too much idle time will slowly start to decrease the multiplier. If you can get it to the max of 8x, you will earn a trophy. Getting hit will reset the multiplier, so be sure to hit targets throughout the level and take out enemies quickly to maximize your score. But be careful not to sacrifice accuracy to ensure an excellent grade at the end of each level. As the level progresses, the player is introduced to the main collectible in the game, a small clown statue called a Skittle. These are hidden throughout each level and are spotted by their light-up hat. For a trophy, you must not only find all the Skittles in a single level, but all the Skittles in the entire game. Luckily, the Skittle count will carry over from one level to the next, and once it is shot and destroyed, it does not need to be found again. In fact, once destroyed, it will no longer appear in the game at all. Therefore, for recording purposes, I utilized a second account, since the skills no longer show up on my main account after I found them all and previously achieved the Platinum Trophy. After a little while, the player is then introduced to the mechanics of moving around to avoid on-screen objects. This is essential to avoid damage and death, and requires the player to dodge and duck in real life.
Holy smokes! Duck! Some days you just don't feel at one with yourself, do you? Nice knowing you, kid.
Unfortunately, things start to take a turn for the worse, as the roller coaster goes off course and enters a haunted lodge, the same one from Until Dawn. A strange masked figure approaches, and the player is rewarded with actual guns, no longer in need of the carnival pistols. This main gun will never run out of ammo, and only needs to be reloaded. As the ride continues, fast-moving and aggressive enemies will begin to attack. Take these out quickly to survive. If hit, your health will decrease as the screen begins to fade. However, it will automatically begin to recover after a brief while of not taking any more damage. Throughout each level, there will be opportunities to change which path you are on, similar to the choose your own adventure style of play that occurred in Until Dawn. Skittles and secrets may be found on each, so it is important to explore all options with repeated runs. In addition to the Skittles, some levels will have a unique hidden secret that, if shot at, will trigger a brief scene.
Sit back, relax, deep breaths.
Once finished, you will receive a rating based on your score and shooting accuracy. You will also see how many of the Skittles you found and how many remain, as well as whether or not you discovered that level's secret. Unfortunately, the collectibles are not tracked in any other way, so if you forgot how many you need, you will have to replay the level to see the tracker at the end. But, once you do replay a level, you don't need to complete it for the Skittle to count. Simply exit the level, and the count will be updated.
Well, now, listen up, listen up. Things have taken an unexpected turn, and I'm the first to admit that we need things corrected. Now, there's just one more thing. Don't be alarmed. You've inhaled a gas. And while there's no harm in it, there is one little side effect. You may start to see things that aren't really there. Which is why I hesitate to bestow upon you this kind of firepower, but you'll need some protection. The psycho who's done this is still at large, so I advise you, move on. I advise you to beware.
Level 2, Nightmare Descent, begins with the usual Dan T introduction, only this time he will provide the player with powerful shotguns. Unlike the basic handguns, more powerful weapons will have a limited ammo capacity, and more must be found throughout the level to avoid reverting back to the handguns.
Ding, dang, dang.
Although shorter than most, Nightmare Descent has several more Until Dawn references, such as the dollhouse. Originally designed as a demo, the level doesn't contain a secret and has only 10 Skittles.
You can't put this off forever. Into the heart of darkness.
Level 3, Hotel Hell, takes place outside in a dark and snowy forest, followed by the inside of a decaying and abandoned hotel. Along the way, you can spot the old shed Josh used to prey upon Chris and Ashley in Until Dawn.
You're making great progress. I expect a full recovery very soon. Now, friend. You know and I know that all this consternation is just because of the gas. Strong stuff. Makes funny pictures in the head. But what we need to do is get you to a specialist. And I know just the spot. It's a cozy little clinic just down the line with all the best people. Now, every specialist you could hope for. They even specialize in special cases, just like yours. So what do you say? Treat yourself to a treatment? Wouldn't want to relapse now, would we?
Level 4, Psycho Cell Block, takes place inside a twisted version of the Blackwood Pines Sanatorium. Several more sightings of Hannah and Beth occur as the player may begin to piece things together. At the end of the level, the Psycho will continuously move towards the player, as he must be fended off and eventually destroyed along with the hotel.
I see you had some ups and downs this time. No pain, no gain, I suppose. Well, wasn't that an explosive turn of events? You've rid us of that psychopath, but it seems we've merely hopped out of the frying pan and into the fire. We've shaken the hornet's nest, my friend. Better hightail it out of here.
Level 5, Ghost Town, sees a slight change to Dan T, as he is looking more beat up and rugged as debris burns in the background. Taking place outside Blackwood Mountain, the level introduces a giant spider boss, as well as many smaller spiders. While playing, you may inadvertently earn a few trophies, as there are several for dying in unique ways. One example here is to be taken out by a spider's venom. At the end, the giant spider will emerge with an ensuing boss fight.
Most this time I wasn't sure you were going to make it. It was not my intention to subject you to all this unpleasantness. I had hoped we could make it through unscathed. But there's something bad in here with us. Something dark and malignant. Deep inside this mountain from which we cannot escape. The only hope is to confront your demons. One must treat the source, not the symptoms.
Level 6, Mines of Death, takes place within the abandoned and collapsed tunnels from Until Dawn. Appropriately, the level contains many references, but none more prevalent than the incredibly fast and dangerous Wendigo. This level has many twists and turns, with numerous possible paths and intense environmental hazards. The final descent deep underground sees the player attacked by Wendigos from all angles.
You were all alone down there. All alone.
These are very troubling results. It seems we came dangerously close to losing you altogether. Yes, my friend. The home stretch. Our undertaking is nearly complete. We're almost at the root of this malignant force. This procedure is not without its risks. You're going to need all your wits about you if you want to prevail.
Level 7, Final Inferno, is, as the name suggests, the last level of the game. As it begins, Dan T is looking increasingly decayed as a deformed and horrific Anna and Beth stand next to you. The player travels through dark tunnels with lava all around. In the middle, a giant creature can be found. This massive beast will attack, but can be shot away. Several waves of enemies and boss fights against a projectile-firing tentacle will take place.
Why didn't you save us, Josh? Why did you want us to die?
Eventually, the player reaches the end and can destroy the creature's heart. However, they are dragged down into the lava with it, and the game ends.
My goodness. Well, that went far better than expected. At least from our perspective. But I bet it felt like the ride of your life, eh? I'm going to give you something to help you relax. It's a little too early to know if the procedure's been entirely successful. In all honesty, we might have to try it a few more times to be sure, to get to the root of the problem.
For those fans of the original game, it will now be clear that the entire game was the emotional roller coaster ride and descent into madness taking place within the mind of Josh. Still riddled with guilt over the death of his sisters, Hannah and Beth, Josh spirals out of control. While it isn't clear when this would have taken place, it clearly connects events that occurred throughout Until Dawn, so this could represent the increasingly chaotic and revenge-driven collapse Josh experiences in the original game, culminating with him snapping and ultimately becoming a Wendigo himself. After completing the game, you will be required to run through it a few more times depending upon the difficulty you started with. The hardest difficulty option is Insane Mode, which sees the player take more damage and have significantly less room for error. Despite this being rather tough to complete, this is by no means the hardest part. That is because there is also Psychotic Mode. This is Insane Mode, but with just a single life. Make one mistake at the very end, and it's back to level 1. It is this trophy alone that will make this platinum very hard to earn. The VR controls are not the most polished, and many deaths will occur through glitchy calibration or not registering hits. However, the easiest way to complete this trophy is to simply back up your save file. To do this, turn off cloud syncing and start a psychotic run. After you complete a level, save your game to USB. Then continue, and if you die, simply reload your last save data from the USB and make sure to save again after each level. That way, if you die, you only need to restart a level and not the entire game. Regardless, this trophy is not going to be easy, because even with the USB method, you still need to complete each Insane Mode level without dying, which will take many attempts to get. It just leaves you some room for error and avoids the frustration of starting over when dying at the very end, which, when fighting the final boss, you will die, as the hit registering on the tentacle was extremely annoying. It is best to make sure you have the powerful pistol to one-shot it. Otherwise, good luck, as this resulted in many deaths, as it just wouldn't die. At least for me. Otherwise, the remaining trophies are relatively easy. In addition to finding all secrets and Skittles, there are some combat-related trophies. As I stated earlier, some are related to dying in unique ways, but others require completing a level with just one hand, completing a level using only pistols, killing enemies with explosive barrels, blasting off 100 limbs, getting 100 headshots, using all weapons, and finishing a level with greater than 80% accuracy, to name a few. None of these have to be completed on a certain difficulty, so easy could be used, except for the death ones, as it is actually hard to die on easy. Overall, Rush of Blood was a really fun, immersive, and horrifying VR experience. This is one of my favorite games on the PSVR, and the connection and references to Until Dawn made for a truly awesome game. If you haven't played the original game, don't worry, as this can be enjoyed by a newcomer just looking for some excitement and thrills on the VR. I was even able to get my mom to play the game, who is by no means a gamer, and it was a hilariously fun time seeing her and new players jump and react to the scares. Those with motion sickness or issues with VR may have trouble playing, but if you don't, I highly recommend this game. The dark environments, ominous sounds, and quick-moving enemies fit the VR perfectly, and the Move controllers help you feel in command, with each representing a different hand. When utilizing the 3D audio, you would easily get lost within the game and find yourself constantly on edge, knowing something unseen was going to jump out and attack at any second. This relatively short, but action-packed slow descent into madness and chaotic spiraling out of control within Josh's mind makes for a terrifying adventure. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for Platinum Review number 28.